And Hamilton Mayor Andrea Horwath joins us this morning, part of a regular update that we do with mayors around the greater Golden Horseshoe. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Annette.
So how does the mayor dig out from the snow?
Well, I'm in actually a row of townhouses, and so we have a snow clearing company that comes, although I have to say I got buried in by my snow clearing company, and I called the chair of the board of the condo corporation. I said, okay, this is not good. The mayor
Did you do one of those, do you know who I am?
No. She happens to be my next door neighbor, yes. So that was fine. She looked out her window and said, "Oh yeah, I see what you're saying." But yeah, it was a big event, snow event or weather event, and so we start by prepping. As you probably know, we prep the roads beforehand, and it's been a dig out. It's been a dig out all weekend long, and there have been some people that have been quite concerned, particularly about their driveways being blocked and things like that. So when we get the calls, when I get a call or when the councillors get calls, we basically send them over to staff and see if we can't help people out.
Mm-hmm. And what about sidewalk clearing as well? I know the city is now taking care of sidewalks in many areas, but there are, there's some is homeowners' responsibility, some is the city or businesses, and there's been a lot of people with mobility devices or strollers that cannot use a sidewalk.
Absolutely, and that's why the sidewalk clearing program has been expanded by the city, and my sense is that councillors want to see more expansion of that sidewalk clearing. In the meanwhile, we have some new contractors that have new routes because we've been doing this expanded area, and we just got an update from our staff yesterday evening that indicated that they're going to keep an eye particularly on the quality of the work and make sure that the contractors are doing what needs to be done to provide that access, because you're right, it can be dangerous and it can literally prevent people from living their lives, from doing the things they need to get done.
From moving around.
Yeah.
Let's talk about access, the Claremont Access.
Oh, yes.
So I understand that it was supposed to be closed this summer anyways for another repair.
Yeah, and this is infrastructure that's very old and needs to be reviewed. That's why there are engineers constantly keeping an eye on it, because we want to get out ahead of any problem like a breach, which is what we're dealing with now. It's not a full breach yet, but let's make sure people are safe, and that's got to be number one. So I think it's probably inconvenient for some folks because their routes now have to change in terms of how they come down from the mountain. But we're a city that has the luxury, really, or the fortune of being, below the escarpment and above the escarpment, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, this is our waterfalls, and this is some of the beautiful views that we're able to see from St. Lawrence Park, for example. So the idea is Sam Lawrence Park, rather. So the idea is let's keep that infrastructure, in our view. Let's keep an eye on it, and when things like this happen, let's make sure we fix it and get people back on their normal routes.
Mm-hmm. And you said too, this is the time of year, freezing and thawing, when some of the rocks can come down, and that's the big danger, and that's why the Downbound Access right now is closed.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want, the last thing we want is somebody to be injured by falling rocks or by a bigger mass of stone and rock coming down. That would be terrible. And so let's be proactive. Let's keep people safe. And then, it's something that we have to fix. We're going to have to redo all of that steel facing, and that's going to cost some money, but it's safety first, right?
Okay. Talking about fixing things, I want to talk about Renovations. There is a building right now at the Delta that tenants have been without water for 2 months. The city, I know, is supplying them water at quite a cost. Where are we at with Renovations in the city?
Well, this is something that has been identified for some time now in terms of recognizing that because of the way the rental market is, because of the way the housing market is, landlords feel that they can get more money by trying to force tenants out. And one of the ways they do that is by saying they're going to renovate their units, and that renovation can't be done while the tenant is living in the unit. And so so not all landlords are like this, obviously,
right?
But certainly some of the unsavory ones are doing those kinds of things. And look, I mean, people have a right to have a roof over their head. They have a right to maintain their housing, to be able to stay in their unit. If there's a genuine need to move people, there are laws provincially that require the landlord to provide a commitment that those tenants can move back in. But we know that that's not really what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, once the tenant's out, the landlord, just goes about their merry way and gets new tenants in. So there really does need to be stronger legislation at the provincial level. Ironically, I was advocating for that for many, many years when I was at Queen's Park. But if the provincial government refuses to do that, we are going to look at what we can do at the local level. So that's in the works right now. There's some work being done in terms of consultation, and if I'm not mistaken, in about a month's time, I think mid-April, staff will be coming back to council with some ideas. There are other jurisdictions that have done some of this work already, places like communities in British Columbia, for example. So we're looking at those models as well.
Okay, we've run out of time, but thanks very much for making time in your busy day to come. Hamilton Mayor Andrea Horwath.